Jim and Pam's relationship was one of the best parts of The Office and a lot of what has to do with the work of actors Jenna Fischer and John Krasinski. Pam was the soft-spoken but kind receptionist at Dunder Mifflin's Scranton office, while Jim was the charming office prankster who never took the job too seriously. However, together, they made for a charming couple as the show followed Jim and Pam through their early days of flirting, their eventual marriage with kids, and even some of their more difficult times. When it comes to popular television couples, many fans get curious about how the actors' relationships are off-screen. While Fischer and Krasinski never did have a romance despite their amazing chemistry together, their pair have maintained a crowd-pleasing friendship over the years while also reminiscing on their time working together on The Office. Learning more about Fischer and Krasinski's relationship makes the Jim and Pam romance even more enjoyable. Krasinski wants to spend all his time with Fischer. Will the duo work together again? Pam and Jim sit outside happily on The Office. One of the things fans have to come to terms with when it comes to some of the best sitcom romances of all time is that these couples are rarely seen together after the show ends. Jim and Pam became such an endearing couple to fans for years, so it is somewhat sad that they don't get to see more of these two actors together anymore. However, that is not to say the closeness between John Krasinski and Jenna Fischer has changed since the end of the show. According to ET Canada, when John Krasinski was asked how his friendship with Jenna Fischer was now that they weren't on The Office, and if he'd ever work with her again, Krasinski responded, "While it would be weird to see these two working together on something where they are not playing Jim and Pam, it would be a thrill for fans to see a future collaboration." Krasinski shot down a controversial storyline to save Jim and Pam. Krasinski refused to make Jim a cheater. Jim and Kathy stood next to each other in The Office. Every fan has their favorite storyline on The Office, but Pam's odd friendship with Brian in Season 9 wasn't one of them. No one wanted to see Pam flirt with another man. While the friendship didn't ultimately lead to anything else, it seemed like a bold direction for the show to take given how iconic Jim and Pam were as a couple. However, it was not the first time a cheating storyline was brought up for the couple. According to Deseret News, the writer suggested that Jim cheated on Pam with Kathy in Season 8 while Pam was away on maternity leave. This would mean that all of Pam's worries before she left The Office were valid. John Krasinski said it was the one time he refused to film. The storyline was changed into Kathy simply trying to seduce Jim and him ultimately rejecting her advances. While it led to Kathy disappearing from The Office abruptly, it was better than the alternative idea. Krasinski and Fischer knew right away that they had a connection. The actors met while auditioning. Jim and Pam hugging in the break room in The Office. The reason why Jim and Pam worked so well as characters is because of their chemistry between John Krasinski and Jenna Fischer. While the entire ensemble of The Office worked together so effectively, there is a reason so many of the Jim and Pam scenes rank among the best in the series. Both actors looked like they were genuinely drawn to each other and created a compelling relationship from the beginning. Just as Jim and Pam's relationship seemed to work right from the beginning of the series, the two actors also found their chemistry early on in their time working together. While it can be awkward for two strangers to suddenly begin acting as a couple with a deep connection, it wasn't difficult for Krasinski and Fischer. According to Nikki Swift, during an episode of The Office Ladies, Fischer said this about meeting Krasinski during the auditioning process.